don't know what's skinny. We're moving the tables here. That's me. Inhale. Yeah. Yes.
All right, it's 6:30. We'll call this meeting of the Plan Commission of the Town of St. Joseph to order. To order. Let's see, statement of public notice. Hereby provide a written notice on the agenda of the public meeting as stated below. There's an opportunity for public comments as noted on the agenda upon recognition by the presiding officer. Roll call, we've got Carol, Chris, Anton, Justin, Rick, Eric, and Joanne and Craig are excused absences. Pledge of allegiance. I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda.
Turn your mic on. Please.
Second. All right. Any discussion on the agenda? Nope. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Approval of prior meeting minutes. Let's see, they were in the Google Drive. Still in the Google Drive, I assume. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from April 2nd?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 2nd.
Is there a second?
I will second.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we have our minutes approved. Public comments. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to a topic that is not on the agenda? Doug?
Yeah, I just, couple things. First, I wanted to come here. I can't stick around for the whole meeting tonight, but I wanted to introduce my associate, Mark McClenathan. He's gonna present the project here tonight, one that he's been working on. So I just wanted to do that. And number two, I would like to, I don't know how to say this exact, but recommend that the planning commission gets working on chapter 168, revising it so that it gets more in tune with the zoning code, and also in light of the new county subdivision code. There's going to be things that clash between our ordinance and the county's ordinance, and things that can bypass the town without approvals because of the way the county's ordinance is written. And I think we want to close some of those loopholes. And I'm gonna offer my assistance to help with that since I'm pretty familiar with both ordinances.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
Right. And that comes at a great time because we're in the middle of revising our ordinances and we're just finishing up our last one that we're in the middle of. So I will put chapter 168 on the list for this summer. Lori, yes.
And unless things have changed in the last week, I'm not aware of it. I would advise you to take a look at what you've got sitting on E-code under new laws, which included 170 from October 2024, which has not been completed and finalized so that when you go into E-code that you're looking only in one place to read 170.
Okay,
So
Terry, we'll take a look at that, huh?
there's about 8 laws, it's 8 of our stuff that you've done work on that's still sitting under new laws and never been followed through and finished up. So I don't know what the holdup is.
All right,
I have tried looking for setbacks, I've tried looking for where a particular property was zoned at. I tried to look at what was permitted use based on the zoning. And I, let's see, I had one other thing and I couldn't easily find any of
all right,
conflicting information that was finished.
okay. And if you ever run into something like that, you can always email myself or Terry and we can like run through the list as well. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? All right. And then we will move on at 6:35 to our public hearing for the conditional use permit. Calling our public hearing to order. And this is a conditional use permit for a secondary dwelling.
Yes, my name is Alex Rome, representing Will and Kate DeFell at 717 Interior Lane. Conditional use permit for a secondary dwelling. Essentially, there's an existing detached garage that's the only garage on the property that is the intent is to do an addition to that with a lower level, larger garage space, and then a partial second story that would have living quarters consisting of a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen area, main living area, and an office. The one thing to note that was brought up in the staff report, the new exteriors, exterior finishes would match the existing house, which was just updated over the course of the last year.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
The deck that is proposed, is that on the second level or the first level?
Second level.
Okay. Thanks.
That would be where the living quarters.
Okay.
Area would be on the second level. And I might add, the general intent, the purpose for the secondary dwelling is just for use for visiting family members, stuff like that, nothing that's intended to be a permanent type of residence, and no intention of using either residence as a rental, of any type.
Any questions for Mr. Rome? Further questions?
I wanted to clarify just because Lori asked you and I didn't hear, but you said the exterior to the staff report, what would complement the existing structure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We would match the exterior for the both we would re-side and refinish the entire existing garage as well as the addition to that.
The new one,
And that
okay.
would all match the existing home.
I was out there today and so I was just curious, where I can see on the diagram where it's gonna go out from the existing, that detached garage. There was, there are some trees there, just curious what the trees will be, what trees you may need to take down,
Yes,
if I'm thinking
there's-
about which direction if I'm thinking right.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from, Terrier Lane.
Yep.
To the north, the left,
Uh-huh.
is where this addition would go.
Mhm.
There's an existing lean-to that, will be, removed from that garage that,
Okay.
so roughly 1/3 of that existing garage will be removed and then the, new structure will go, in its place and.
In its footprint.
Some
Okay.
smaller trees, nothing major. I would guess less than six trees, which leaves a decent amount
Yeah.
of wooded area on that lot
Mhm.
for coverage.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I saw one was down, but that looks like wind damage.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
few.
on the fence.
A few that are,
Yeah.
over the last year or two look like have come down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, one other thing that was mentioned in the staff report is just you're not planning on adding any new lighting beyond what's already there.
No, just other than what's required for code at,
Mhm.
exterior doors and stuff like that, nothing, no big spotlights or anything like that, nothing that's like needed for any,
Yeah.
outdoor. and
So
exterior
just
activities.
over the door or something.
Yeah, just over the doors and
Yep.
entrances is the intent there.
All right. Any more questions? Does anyone want to make a motion on this one? Not yet.
Can I just ask a question?
Of course.
So the staff report made a comment about the renewal of this one in 2 years. Because it's to May 2027. I can't read and speak. Is that agreeable that this would be reviewed? That we normally like to review the conditional use permits. Basically, is to probably have our zoning administrator just come out and look at it and make sure that it's still in use as it was intended. So that would be placed on the conditional use permit, or I'd recommend that. Just, is the owner agreeable to that, do you think?
Sure, so just a review, no formal process or anything like that, just like a site visit and that's a review.
Well,
Yes.
it would be a renewal, so it would come through the plan commission.
Sure. Yeah, I guess, assuming that if that's what it were to be required for approval, that would be agreeable. I guess
So
the concern would be if that were a continuous every 2 years, they have to go through.
right.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I don't know how that works. If it's just like a one-time type of a.
Well, we can set the time frame that the permit is good for, but our ordinance doesn't have a perpetual conditional use permit.
Sure.
So we could, they recommended that we might want to, review it, after some amount of time to see that all the conditions are being complied with.
Sure, okay.
And if we might, for instance, choose to, review it after 2 years and then reissue it for a much longer period after we have a chance to see.
So they don't issue a perpetual conditional use permit just for that owner on that property?
Wouldn't you have to go for a variance if you wanted that?
Well, no, we could do a conditional use permit, but we need to, our ordinance says we have to state the period.
Yeah.
So I suppose we could set a period that's like 50 years or 100 years. And given that it runs with the owner, it's not transferable, that would effectively be a perpetual.
The only reason I'm asking and thinking about this is that did one in over the winter for a different property that I don't believe had any time. or
That could be our, that we missed that and
Okay,
staff
so that's-
didn't remind us. Yep.
It
got
did
you.
come up then, and
Mhm.
obviously I understand the intent behind that, so, I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, if that's what's required, that would certainly be understandable.
Yeah, I don't know, for this one, it seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it seems honestly, I mean, it's, as we started with our new zoning or in the end, this, adding this type of secondary dwelling into our zoning, this is newer for us, so we did want to have that option of renewal. So, I mean, you go out in 2 years and it looks like everything's compliant, and then we bring it back and we look at it and then we set up, do we set out another date, or at that time, do we say, okay, we're good to go?
Sure.
It's just
sure.
that, you can see how we're just, getting things in practice and in play.
Perfect. Yeah,
that-
I mean, really the only concern on the owner side would be if they. Say there was some.
Mhm. Obviously, if there's like a risk that it doesn't get renewed, then they've invested money in this.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the only concern, but obviously if they're following what, changes to anything, and they're following what's expected and required.
Yeah.
in
Exactly,
the ordinances.
exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, in this case, I'm not sure if a two-year or longer would make more sense.
Well, you
I
mean
don't
to not do it in 2 years from now, but to do it farther
That,
out?
that's what I'm wondering. Again, it, obviously depends, like when we've done like, the contractor's storage yard type one, we did that on shorter periods because we felt there was more risk that
Right.
they would
Right.
be exceeding or not complying with all the conditions, or we might need to adjust the conditions.
Let me ask you this, what's the timeframe of construction? To be completed by the end of the summer or
To be completed this year,
this year?
Yeah.
So when do you think it'll be in use?
should be by, I would assume by January 1st of next year would be.
Okay,
Be the intent.
does that help at all?
Could even put it out.
I mean, you could push it out another year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it wouldn't even be in use until,
right.
Mhm.
So do you want to set a date then instead of a duration? Do you want to say the
Yeah.
next review would be something like June 1st or by June 1st of 2020?
2028.
yeah, I think that'd be all right. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's-
reasonable, right?
Yeah, May 1, 2028.
Yeah.
Yes, Lori?
There a form that they fill out for that come before the town, and is there a fee associated with that? Review?
I don't think we have a form for that at this point. Terry? I don't think we have a fee set for renewal of conditional use permits, do we? So I don't think that there is. I don't think we would charge a fee at this point. Yeah.
And is that both planning and town board?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
the,
mean, but the biggest concern would be
Hmm.
just if there, I don't know how it works, if there's ordinances or anything else that changes and they build the structure under the current ordinances is,
This,
what's that?
this one would then, it would apply when they built it under this zoning. right?
Sure.
Yeah,
yeah, we can't retroactively take away
no,
their rights.
Yeah, that's like moving the
And
goalpost.
we can't refuse to renew the conditional use permit without cause.
Sure, okay.
Yes, Lori?
Secondary structure. Can you refresh my memory what the maximum square footage of the living space can be?
I believe it's smaller than the primary, and I'm not sure it says beyond that.
I just
Top of
looked
my
at
head.
it the other day.
Did
I
you
don't
slip?
think there is, Laura.
You know,
Definition of use, but not what it.
Sorry, just looking that up again real quick. The latest.
these are detailed facts.
That's 1,080 square feet.
Yeah, we don't have a maximum size as far
We
as
don't
I
have
can
a
find.
maximum size.
All right. Anyone want to make a motion or ask further question?
No, but if you look at the calendar, it looks like I just forwarded myself out to June 2028. It would be, the next meeting on that would be June 7th of 2028 would be that meeting.
Mhm.
Be the first Wednesday.
Assuming we're still on the same schedule in 3 years. Yeah,
This is government. We change nothing unless mandatory.
I'll take a stab at it, but I'm gonna. All right, I'll make a motion to
Thank you.
approve the conditional use permit at 717 Terrio Lane, Somerset, Wisconsin. I don't believe we have a parcel ID, so I'm not gonna say it. With a condition for renewal. Correct me if I got my verbiage incorrect there, but condition for renewal by the end of June 2028. How's that? We'll blanket a date in there.
yeah, I would suggest, all right.
Do you have a second?
Second to that for discussion.
Second, Carol Oncar.
Okay, that we should include, I think, the recommended conditions from the staff report.
I will amend my previous motion to include the recommendations from the staff report.
And you need another second?
I'm going to pause you right there. From the staff report under the permit conditions, I assume this is what you're referring to, right?
yeah, and the ones above.
I would prevent you from saying all of them. I would say the conditional. The stated staff report conditional outlined 1 through 3 with the exception of 4. Do you need the?
Or
do
is
you
the
want-
date?
Yeah, do you want the permits or are you okay with that?
Come at me with that one more time.
So you would say a motion to include all of the conditions laid out in the staff report for 1, 2, and 3.
I will amend my motion to include the conditions of the staff report, items 1, 2, and 3.
Carol, you want to second the
Second.
amended motion?
Second that motion.
All right. And to be clear, Rick, the date that you had said was June 2028?
The end of June
End of
2028.
June.
That
Yep.
would be the 30th, because that's my birthday.
All right.
So whatever the meeting is in there, we'll just capture it in the June meeting.
By June 30th.
Okay.
Nice work.
Yes.
Thanks.
Those are.
We'll get it right.
People don't know how hard that is. to
It's
do, but
it's a
tricky.
difficult thing,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah, it is.
All those in favor of approving the conditional use permit?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll see you tomorrow at the town board meeting.
Good, thank you all.
Thanks.
thank you.
All right. Moving on, we have a CSM for the minor subdivision at 136 County Road E. I was lazy this time and left out the range and township numbers that I usually put in there along with the tax ID number. All right.
Doug did make some revisions to this map, basically just one revision. Realized the description was not correct.
Okay.
Two, he had said it was being lot 1 of the previous version of the map, and some of the right of way was taken.
Mhm.
Basically wrote a new description on it.
Okay.
I don't know if you have copies, that's one copy of that. Otherwise, looking at Duroc CSM, currently 6.84 acres. Putting out the existing house on lot one, which is 3.66 acres, and lot two would be currently undeveloped. Approximately 3 acres. The access for lot two coming off of the Beeman Farm Trail.
Yep.
Current access for lot one is on county.
Mhm. Any questions on this one?
Sorry, I'm still catching up. Is there anything on the staff report for this one?
Comments on there were, proposed the bike trail for the county that may be nearby that, is not really,
Thank you.
planned at the moment. There is a shed on the east side of lot, the garage on the east side of lot one is, non-conforming, it's currently 16.6 feet off the lot line. But it's up against the existing lot. So there's not really anything to do about that.
And you said the additional driveway will come off of Beeman. That was the other.
Yeah, the driveway is off of Beeman Farm there, and it's. Way I had shown it there is.
Oh, I see it now. Perfect. Shame on me. Looking at my.
Rick, I assume you're talking about number 6 in the staff report?
Yeah, I believe so.
Should remember that all chapter 149 requirements will apply at the time of building and construction.
Yeah.
Further questions?
Can I just ask a question
Of course.
for the town board, maybe? With the potential bike lanes on E, are we not asking, we've gone back and forth on this a couple times as things have come before us.
Mhm.
So, I know nothing's proposed right now on E for the county, so are we just not addressing it as these come in, or do we have them name it in here somewhere? It's a county issue, it's not, where are we at? Are we not there yet?
I struggle to give an answer to that because the county has been very ambiguous with their direction.
Okay, that's why I'm asking where things are at now.
And I don't like to hold people beholden to something that may be a pipe dream till forever.
Okay.
So,
I just thought each
that's-
time this comes up, I'd like to ask kind of.
yeah,
Alright.
unless Terry has more information than I do, that's been kind of the stance, is that we just, they've been ambiguous about what
You're doing,
how they're gonna actually achieve these goals.
yeah,
And until I see some kind of actual plan outside of their comprehensive plan,
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold up, residents who want to do things to that
yeah,
for
okay.
Chris,
40
thanks
years
for-
from now.
Yeah, we
Thanks
just
for
keep
asking.
seeing them and it's like, well, I want to be able to respond to it with the same voice that you all have. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, thanks for asking, because I was under the impression that they had dreams of a bike trail, but no
Dream-
concrete
Dreams are
plan yet,
cheap.
right? So,
Okay,
The,
okay, thanks.
the price tag on that is.
oh, I could imagine. But we do see them come through quite a bit with the staff comments on them.
Yeah, the staff always
You
comments
know,
on.
and it's like, I don't
Yeah.
know what we're
It's
supposed to
because
do
it's part of the
about it.
plan.
It's a county road, county
Yeah.
plan.
Yep.
Anyway,
But no, it's a good comment. I don't think anyone on the board would disagree with that statement that.
Sure.
While we know it's there, we know it's planned, we know that there's an ambition to try and do it. It's one of those things where it's like.
it's more of an acknowledgement than anything else, right?
Correct.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
And the staff's comments has generally been, you know, while the division is going on, the town should acquire the property for that.
Hmm.
Required for that trail at this time,
Mhm.
but the town has no money
Mhm.
and not really anything we could trade for an easement,
Mhm.
so. I'm not sure that there's really anything
But
we can.
Without a plan, we wouldn't know what easement to get even,
Right,
right? I mean,
well, I
True.
mean, we could still acquire an easement for.
I suppose,
potential
yeah.
Future bike trail.
depends on how you write it,
But in
right?
this case, it's county, so I don't think that we would even.
Be
wanna
involved in it. Right, exactly.
We would actually do the opposite. We would try to stay out of it
Right.
because the county's road is.
I would
their-
just assume they'd build it in there.
It's
right away.
their, yeah.
Mhm.
The last thing I had, and I apologize again, these got uploaded after I was online yesterday, or somehow I have a date of yesterday. A signature page addressing the appropriate entities must be added, approval certificates under the additional staff comments.
Not sure what that means.
So Doug and I talked about that, and our opinion on that our interpretation on that is if signature approvals are required, add them. And in this case, there are no signature approvals required. So there's nothing to add there.
Okay.
Because the county used to require the treasurer's certificate. and
Okay,
That is no longer required.
And I think that might be where Doug was warning us, we should go look at our zoning ordinance, just to make sure we don't have anything like this where we have erroneous. I could be
Mhm.
wrong.
'Cause
I'm
I know
wrong a
he
lot.
did, after I asked him, because that's the same comment on the next one. I asked him about that, because I didn't think you guys had any approvals. And he went back to and read through the ordinance and said there's nothing that he sees where we need approvals on these, on either one of these two, so.
yep,
And we have you have the 200-foot driveways.
Yep.
To conform. I don't have any other questions. Anybody else?
someone want to make the motion on this one?
I can give it a swing if you want me to give it a try.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to approve the CSM.
To recommend to the town.
To recommend to the town board, the approval of the CSM for the minor subdivision at 136 County Road E Holton, bid number 030-2043-40-001. Yeah, we didn't have any additional comments on the staff report, so that would be my motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Eric, all right. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. See you at the town board too, I guess. Thank you.
I'm still here for another one.
All right, you're here
right.
for the next one as well. I was wondering, I didn't see any other surveyor types. All right, we'll move on to 1224 Vast Lake Road, CSM. TID 0302011900400.
Currently, this 128 acre parcel. Doug previously did a CSM on this one in 2017, so the 5-year podcast reset. We're looking to split off 1 3-acre lot, develop the previous house. First split off. That has a lot. Staff comments that were of note to me was on the west side of the big lot, because they closest.
Really?
They confirming that house meets the setback. Which it is approximately 85 feet from the lot line.
Okay,
Other questions for the lot numbering, with staff comments. State statute just clarifies that it needs to be contiguous lot numbers. It does not clarify or state where the lot starts at. For clarity, we continued on lot 3 instead of resetting to lot 1 and 2. That way there's not 2 lots, 1 and 2 and the same 40. Otherwise, I do not have a driveway shown on here for lot 4. The lot is over 200 foot wide. There's room from the south existing driveway on lot 5 to get one in between that one and driveway on lot 3. I will add that for tomorrow next board meeting. if that's required. I apologize. for
Yeah,
that.
we do they'll
Yeah.
ping you at the board meeting.
Then the major question is on the previous CSM that Doug did. Because it was under county zoning and
Mhm.
future land use that was in the comp plan. And there is an open space that is on our lot 5. Under the current zoning, it is not required. Continue that open space, I guess the question is, does the town still want the open space, or how do we handle that, because it's not required under the current zoning, does it just go away?
Mhm.
Our desire would be to move the open space.
Is it, why would you want to remove that?
Because it's a hindrance on.
In what way?
It prevents.
Future development.
They want to put a shed. in it.
Mhm.
Actually, it's currently part of it is being farmed. Which is not allowed under the open space.
Hmm.
Designation.
Thanks. Is the owner here by any chance?
Yes, Jeremy, yes.
Oh, hi, Jeremy. Are you also, you want that designated open space off your land?
I guess if it's not.
Would it be possible sort of have you come up? It's just because these are
it's hard to
recorded. If we have someone do a public records request, it's always
Thank
helpful to
thank
have
you, I
everybody.
appreciate you.
Thank you both.
I guess we wouldn't, if it's not required, but we just want to, just be in compliance with the current code.
Okay. Just wanted to ask, would you consider keeping it open space, or you don't want it at all?
I mean, I guess we have no definite plans for it right
Okay.
now, so. Guess it wouldn't be the worst for it.
Yeah,
Though if you want to farm it,
yeah, then we wouldn't.
then we would want to remove that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
we just asked the question because we always like to think about the environmental corridors and the natural corridors within the town. And so in the comp plan, some of those were designated, and your lake, your property, actually, it was right in the cutoff. There was ag there, and then there was the preservation residential. And so that's why, and the previous owners had the desire that it be kept in open space. So just asking the question.
And it looks like it's just, the wetland is just. I don't know the orientation of this map. Is that south or north?
The wetlands are.
That's the only thing I don't like about these maps.
There's a wetland just to the.
Okay,
It is not on this property, it's on the property.
okay. That gets you into much more of a headache when you start talking about the wetlands.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just making sure that nothing has changed geographically.
I mean, looking at it and looking at what the comp plan shows for the environmental corridor, I mean, if it's. The open space would make sense to even kind of what is the tree there.
Mhm.
Not kind of the open.
Yes, exactly, because you could see the open field. I was out there today, so I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're
And I
talking about.
have to know about it, so
Yeah.
again, today, make sure that was-
Yeah.
What I do, probably farm last year.
Mhm.
And that's probably, I guess, if they were okay with it, move the open space on the field and keep it on.
The treed area.
Should be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
on the corridor.
Yeah.
That would be ideal, I think.
Yeah, that would be great. That's exactly what we're thinking. Are you amenable to that?
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thanks, those are my questions.
We can reduce the open space or just ask them nicely not to clear cut the part that's not being planted.
But I don't have a copy of Doug's previous CSM, but the note on there was to the regards of open space to be changed at the discretion.
Mhm.
Something along.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's in the, there's a copy of it in the staff report.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. It's just I have a Dell here and it doesn't zoom in real well. So I'm just used to the corporate world, I guess. That's kind of an odd one. Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you.
So yeah, I think we would be amenable to having the open space reduced to cover the area that's currently covered by trees. I don't know, just
In that
if,
case, with the open space, still need to be.
No, just the tree area, because like you said, this is ag rural and it's not preservation residential, so it's not zoned in that
I
area.
just wanted to.
Yeah, no, good, yep,
right.
yeah, and then they come back and say it's not 40%, yeah.
And I guess I'm not sure on, in terms of like the,
Volume.
how the recording works on this, but with that, if you just put that open space on this new document, does that automatically revise this previous?
I believe so.
Okay,
And I'm still new and learning. the
Doug,
area.
double check with Doug, I guess. Yep.
His opinion was you could just remove it, not.
Mhm.
Mention it.
Okay,
I wondered if the document vacate open space first. And redefine it.
yeah, I'm just not sure if there needs to be something with this previous one that basically says it's superseded. But-
Maybe just a note that this open space supersedes. Places. that supersede
Yeah.
previous.
I don't know, Doug can give you guidance on that. So,
I would imagine when he submits the new map, that adjustment would be then reflected there.
Yeah.
That would be my assumption.
that'd be my
And
assumption
only
too,
because
but
it's not like it's an actual easement, because if it was an easement, you would want to actually vacate
Correct.
right,
prior to redefining. It's just an open space restriction.
Yeah, I think the only reason I'm saying that is because you do have to define the volume of area. And so, and I'm not sure if you wanna. How you're gonna try and do that with the open space. So
Yeah.
that would be where I'd take that back, Doug.
Yeah, basically, I'll probably just be here's the open space area and thing I put that. We have. That cannot be changed out for.
all right.
My hope is it just didn't get clear cut. That's all I was hoping for, so.
Mhm. Right. Additional comments on this one? Anyone want to make a motion on this one?
You guys want to give it up to me again? Okay. I'll make a motion to recommend to the board the approval of CSM minor subdivision for 1224 Bass Lake Road, Hudson, PID number 030-2011-90-400 as presented. I'll ask for a second and then I'll take a comment.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, and then did you want me to clarify the?
I was gonna say the driveways and the open space,
Okay,
two things that you might want to.
I thought we had already talked about the driveway. That's why I was, oh, you're
But we
saying
didn't
about
make it part of
the,
the motion.
so that the map would be presented with the driveway for lot 4 is what you're
Yeah,
asking
yep.
for? I'll make the
Well, I
motion.
think you're planning on doing that anyway, but
Yeah, well, that's why anyway.
Yep.
I'll amend my motion to include that the proposal to the town board will include the driveway for lot 4 and the amended open space.
second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a good evening. All right. Okay, I did manage to revise our sign ordinance with the changes from last month. Kind of walk through real quickly what I did on that.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you. Let me grab my notes from last month quick so I can just flip through real quick and see what I changed.
Save a tree.
Write it down.
I saved a tree.
I come in every time and I see my locker, it's just more and more paper.
All right, so let's see through here, third page. I'm not going to go through everything that we talked about last time. So I removed the definition of holiday sign after verifying that we didn't reference that. I think you'd also verified that, Chris, if I remember right. Let's see, sign, I had gotten rid of the stuff about the purpose of the sign because to figure out the purpose, you have to read the sign. That's under the in the definition of sign. So the new definition of sign just says it's a device using text, graphic symbols, and or other written copy. No longer says for the primary purpose of identifying, providing directions, or advertising any establishment, product, goods, or services. Get rid of all of the content. All right. 156.8, the general design standards. We talked about just getting rid of the sign legibility and shape since that seemed like advice rather than like anything we actually wanted in the, there weren't actually any requirements. So I got rid of the sign legibility and shape section altogether.
A.
Yeah, 156-8 used to be A.
Under D.
So I left the color recommendations.
Yep.
So, since in particular, we say we don't automatically approve colors that are garish. We'd probably, we would probably get into trouble anyway if we tried to enforce this. I know Hudson has had issues with that, so we could probably learn from them. But I didn't want to change too much at once. Let's see, the illumination section. Let's see. This is under 156. Still under 156.8. Let's see. Oh, right, but it's now B because I got rid of section A. So another illumination. I added flags, basically saying, okay, so I'll just read this paragraph now for the benefit of people who don't have it in front of them. And a person shall not illuminate any existing sign at any time except for signs attached to a building, except for reasonably sized parking lot directional signs described in 156.983 below. And the part I added this month, or flags as recommended by 4 U.S. Code Section 6. In the case of flags, upward direct lighting may be used only in the form of 1 or 2 narrow cone spotlights, which confine the illumination to the pole and flag. And I pulled that out of our proposed lighting ordinance. So, any comments on that one?
You should say, Chris, any comments? No, I don't. Thank you.
Well, I would say Craig, any comments as our like
Oh,
flag
that's right.
size expert.
That's right.
but
We should,
He's
yeah.
not here this month, so.
Chris didn't want any lights and Craig wanted light on flag and we have minimal light on flag. So we have good
We have a
compromise.
compromise.
Don't flags have to be lit if they're,
Governmental flags, yeah,
yes,
but
at night, yes?
yeah, but we're talking.
If they're up at night, it actually, if you read the flag code, it says that it's preferable to take them down at night. But if
Yes.
you don't take them down at night, then they should be illuminated. So it's also pointed out that the US flag code is recommendations, it's not statute.
I thought the state had one.
State might,
I thought the state of Wisconsin had one,
okay.
because in Hudson, we had someone who had trouble with that.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right, let's see. And we're in 156-9, signs not requiring permits. Got rid of the paragraph that like restricted sign. Well, I simplified the paragraph that had the maximum size, which had been 6 feet in some districts, 4 square feet in other districts, and just said everything 6 feet. Which is what we discussed before. Craig had pointed out that 3 flags, 40 square feet meant that you had to use smaller flags than normal, whatever normal is. So it's now 60 square feet, which is what we had discussed. I think it was, he said flags were like 3 by 5 typically, something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
that's what he said it was.
Yeah, so now you can use bigger flags. Not too many changes. I think the lighting showed up in like one more place and I just did exactly the same. Because I think we had one lighting section for existing signs and one for
Yeah.
new signs, which is kind of annoying, but it felt like too much work to try and revise that.
And Tom, what's the next step for this then? Does it go to the lawyer or do we recommend it to the board yet?
I think we could recommend it to the board, or I think we could recommend to the board that they pass it to the lawyer. I'm fine either way. Someone want to make a motion to?
I'll make a motion to recommend to the board to. I don't know how I want to word that. I jumped all over it and. I will make a motion to recommend. Let me get my number right here.
156.
The edits to chapter 156 signs. For approval or forwarding to the lawyer. At their discretion.
Second.
Sounds good. Discussion, further discussion.
Yeah, you jumped the motion before I had a chance. to-
Sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted to ask for clarification. Anton, when you,
Mhm.
I know last meeting, all good to go. I just saw something when I was reviewing
Okay,
156-9.
yep,
B, temporary
temporary
window signs.
Yep,
I just wanted to double check. It says that they shall be permitted fine, provided they do not exceed 10% of the front building facade.
mhm,
And I was just wondering, this would actually be something that we, for some reason, this is different than what is up in the section 1567L, where the window signage shouldn't exceed 25% of the window in which it's
Mhm.
displayed. And this is 10% of the front building
So
facade. It's
this
just.
one is permanent window signage. Is this other one temporary?
Yeah, this is temporary. That must be, I just wanted to talk through it
Yeah.
because this one's temporary. It's just a different.
Yeah, so they're not conflicting, but yes, it's kind of weird that in one we talk about how big is it relative to the window, and in the other, how big is it relative to the building?
Facade, exactly. I just caught that. If everybody,
Yep.
okay, I'm fine. Because the permanent one, we know we're 25% of the window.
Mhm.
Temporary is temporary, it'll come down.
I would assume it would be something like if I put an open or closed sign in the window of the new town building versus I buy a grand opening sign that's hung
Exactly.
over the entire facade of the front of the building.
Yes, yep. I just wanted to talk
Specifically
through
right in
it.
front of Terry's office, just.
Block all the light or,
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, that's all.
I'm sorry, I jumped all over it. Got excited. Practicing my motion.
That's why we get to have discussion after the
I know. All over it.
Okay.
So is there anything that we need to change in the
We have-
motion?
We have a motion on the table. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Post. Motion carries. See you, Lori. Good night. All right.
Good job with that one. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Let's see. So standing items, review of budget. I don't think there was anything exciting in our budget.
I like this budget. There's usually nothing ever exciting in this one.
Those are the best budgets.
Yes,
Yes.
when everything just goes.
Agreed.
We do have. Let's see. We do have a lot of money in our budget for C and D expenses. And that I think is basically because I think that's to cover the comprehensive plan revision. Unless that wound up under some other place that's not showing up in ours.
No, should be under yours.
Okay, yeah, I know it should be under ours.
No, I mean, like, we haven't done anything that would make it go away.
Yep,
Or if they did, they didn't tell me.
yes. All right, updates from county. Have we heard anything from the county? That I guess we heard indirectly from Doug that they have changed their ordinance and we need their subdivision ordinance. We need to pay attention to that. They didn't tell me that.
I don't have an email about it either, so.
All right. Any updates on complaints that anyone wants to share? I keep thinking I should just remove that off here and tell people go to the town board meeting if you want updates on complaints, but.
No, everything's running just kind of as you would expect.
So, all right,
Yep,
through the legal process where appropriate.
yep.
Okay. Okay, recommendations to the town board. We have a CUP, 2 CSMs, and an ordinance to either approve or have the lawyer review first. Next agenda, I have nothing. Does anyone want to volunteer to like take a look at the county subdivision ordinance and propose something there? I will definitely put that ordinance on for next month anyway. So we can talk about it. Our subdivision ordinance, that is. And Chris, you have something for the agenda possibly?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about the county pass,
Mhm.
but I might. Just this, what came up here, the conditional use permit, the review process.
Yep.
We should probably see if we can get an application and decide if we want to be that.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Would it,
Uh,
you know what? I'm gonna hold that comment until we talk about it later.
All right,
Okay.
well, I'm on the agenda.
It's not on the
bits.
agenda, so.
And anything that somebody would like to talk about next month that I should write on the agenda that is not either review process for conditional uses or chapter 168 related. Not right now. I should probably check, since we're just a couple months out, when our July meeting is scheduled for, to make it sure it's not like the 4th. Let's see, the June meeting is the 4th. Okay, July 2nd, that should be okay. If anyone's not going to be here for July, just like let me know. But I think we'll have,
Be here for June.
you won't be here for June.
No,
Okay,
sorry,
that's all right. You're here this month.
I am.
I will write it down. I can even put it on my agenda. Carol, not here. We can talk about you behind your back then, because you'll be on the
Oh, yeah.
agenda.
We'll go for it.
Right. Okay, and for the town board agenda, it's just the same 4 things. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
I have a question which has nothing to do with anything here, but driving on 35, I see that is it 2 or 3 lots that we approved several months ago are up for sale by EXP
Mhm.
Realty, the one that are on the river. Does anybody know how much they're wanting?
I
for
don't.
Those lots? I was just,
Well, let's see if they posted it.
EXP is the
On the
real
MLS.
estate company.
Yeah,
I
I
just-
just hunt your Zillow. It's much easier.
Oh, okay.
The Zillow has a lot better web scrapers than I want to bother with.
Really?
Just on County Road.
If you put your own in, does it show up?
Yeah,
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I can tell when they took the photo by when we mowed our lawn.
and they also do all your tax data because they have a plugin to choose,
They do your what?
like your tax premiums and all that.
Oh.
It's downloaded from St. Clair County site.
No.
Yeah. Oh, really? She's jumping on them?
Say this. I see the one that's on the corner of B and 35.
Yeah, where's
Mhm.
That house that's going up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're getting any business there other than the one
Yeah.
they have.
For them, it's doing those. Go ahead.
I think Teresa said that she'd heard there was one or two other people that
Okay.
had bought lots anyway. What are you gonna say?
The person who's the underlying owner is slightly challenging to deal with.
I can imagine, didn't he want something like the houses to be all like 750,000 or more?
Yes,
Plus you gotta buy the lot. It just,
you wanted 480,000 for the lot, and you wanted a minimum build buy of 7 to, it was between 6 and 9 was his goal.
This is on the river?
no.
No,
this
it's
is
right
the
next to
corner
Yeah,
of
this is
B and
the
35.
VNE.
Where you can hear the sound of the ocean, which is what we call to tell people when they live next to 94.
The luxury homes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The luxury
Well,
homes.
that's what it said on it.
When you're.
Okay, speaking of the luxury homes, everyone knows where the Phillips Med-Size facility in Hudson is, right?
Yes.
So the house is the brand new Phillips Med-Size, not the old one,
Yeah, the one owned by the doctor.
where the dog track used to be.
Mhm.
The buy-in on those houses wrapped right behind where that building's water exfil is was 1.4 mil of pop.
Really?
And I thought,
The building itself, not.
no, it was a package deal.